Well, it's a weird situation in the Baltic Sea as investigators try to understand who detonated the Nordstream pipeline. We covered this last Friday on my show, and the Swedish investigators are still trying to get to the bottom of it. They report their new findings show that it appears there was quote unquote gross sabotage in the detonation of this pipeline. Sweden has seized evidence from the sea floor. But the weird thing is that, European and Russian partners own this pipeline, yet Russia is being blocked out of its own pipeline right now. Russia was not let in to investigate or observe the investigation, as reported by Reuters. U.S. is starting to offer to help in this investigation as well, and I know some people are suspecting the U.S. may have committed this explosion just based on the fact that Biden said he would do away with this pipeline if Russia invaded Ukraine. I mean, Biden said that. Now this has happened. And people wonder why a lot of people are speculating as to whether it was the U.S. who did this. I've got a really interesting article to show about how Brookings Institute says that American podcasters are helping to convey Russian misinformation about America's involvement. Really weird article from them. Real quick shout out to the sponsor of my coverage. Is investing in silver today a good idea? Colin Plume from our friends at Noble Gold thinks so. On the national desk, he explained that there had been huge sell-offs of silver because of its low price right now. Silver is the most useful industrial metal out there, and demand is soaring for electronics in electric cars and solar panel circuits as the green agenda speeds up. As industries pick up after the pandemic supply chain issues, the trend down should reverse quickly and silver will rocket. Don't miss this. Give the team at Noble Gold a call and join thousands of others who've taken advantage of this blip in the market. They'll guide you through the process and make it easy for you. The link to this webpage actually is down below. You can sign up for your free gold guide. And this month, you'll also get a stunning free 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin with a qualifying IRA of $20,000 or higher. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold, the safest place to put your money right now. Call them 877-646-5347 or visit their website, linked down below, noblegoldinvestments.com. Reuters article, Nordstream investigation finds evidence of detonation, Swedish police say. Says here, a crime scene investigation of the Nord Stream 1 and 2 gas pipelines from Russia to Europe found evidence of detonation, strengthening suspicion of gross sabotage, Sweden's security service said on Thursday. Down here, it's interesting. It talks about, quote, Russia said it had been informed via diplomatic channels that it was not able to join the investigation. Quote, as of now, there are no plans to ask the Russian side to join the investigation, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters, adding that Moscow replied it was not possible to conduct an investigation without its participation. They're part owners and operators. Some in the West are pointing to Putin as the one who created this explosion. Why would Russia damage its own pipeline? Putin is pointing to the West, saying, maybe America detonated this pipeline. Who knows? We still don't know. But Sweden has seized evidence while blocking other nations out. Apparently, I'm reading it was Sweden, Denmark, and Germany who are allowed to look at the scene here, the scene at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. Other nations are not allowed in at this point, although the U.S. is offering help and Russia is saying, let us in. We are part owners of this. Reuters reports, quote, the operators of the pipeline owned by Russian and European partners said this week they were unable to inspect the damaged sections because Danish and Swedish authorities had cordoned off the area on Monday. Sweden's prosecution authority said on Thursday the area where gas spewed into the sea for almost a week was no longer cordoned off. So as of today, Sweden's saying, okay, we no longer blocked it. Now that we've taken the evidence, it's no longer blocked off. Reuters says, quote, it was not possible to let others take part in a Swedish criminal investigation, Sweden's justice minister said on Wednesday in response to the Kremlin. Denmark's foreign minister, Jeppe Kofod told Reuters on Thursday that a police-led task force between Denmark, Sweden, and Germany was in charge. Maria Zakharova, a spokeswoman for the Russian Foreign Ministry, said on Thursday that Moscow would insist on a comprehensive and open investigation that includes Russian officials. That's the update, is that Russia is trying to get a look at this scene of the explosion, but its European partners in this pipeline are not letting it. Kind of a weird situation. Like they said, natural gas leaked for nearly a week from multiple explosion sites along the pipelines, both Nordstream 1 and 2. So that has caused an energy emergency. That pipeline supplies energy to Europe. So now we have this tweet. Klaus Mueller out of Germany warning, quote, gas consumption increased too much last week. Private gas consumption almost 10% above last year's consumption, industry only 2% below. The situation can become very serious if we do not significantly reduce gas consumption. So he is begging people to lay off using natural gas right now. Let me show you how the U.S. is hoping to help out in this investigation. If the U.S. is a suspect in this a suspect of this crime, you wouldn't want them to investigate themselves, right? I pray to God that we in the U.S. are not the cause of this explosion. But hearing from Biden's own lips back in February that he would do away with this pipeline if Russia invaded Ukraine makes me seriously wonder. And anyone with a brain would seriously wonder that. So I love how some people are saying that people like me wondering are conveyors of Russian misinformation. Talk about gaslighting. Anyway, let's get to the CNN article. Quote, U.S. considering offering to analyze underwater audio recordings to aid Nord Stream pipeline sabotage investigation. The U.S. is considering offering to use its most advanced underwater sound reading capabilities to analyze audio recordings from around the time of the Nord Stream gas pipeline's apparent sabotage, according to two sources familiar with the matter. Ooh, those anonymous sources, though. Do we trust that? Anyway, apparently the U.S. Navy has, the best underwater sound and sonar technology in the world. So they would be able to map out a picture of what waters beneath the surface of the Baltic Sea looked like around the time that those explosions happened, to see if there was some sort of suspicious activity there. I don't know if you guys saw the actual video of damage. Here it is. This is the natural gas bubbling up to the surface of the Baltic Sea off the coast of Sweden, and natural gas leaking for nearly a week into the environment there, causing energy and environment concerns. There's a lot of rumors and speculation going around. I know there have been news reports that a Russian passport was found in the sea near the explosion site, indicating, that's proof that Russia did this. And then others are saying, I have, one of my viewers saying, I'm a Swede, and here's more information. The U.S. had a chopper in that area hours before the Swedish marine vessel turned off its tracking in the same area hours before detonation. USA practiced underwater detonations and other activities in the same area a couple of weeks before the detonation. All of this is in the Swedish media. From Engdahl Fredrik, he is saying that that's what the Swedish media is reporting. I don't speak Swedish. It's kind of hard to find Swedish media here, but you can look on DuckDuckGo and find similar articles. There's an article from republicworld.com in which they cite a source talking about just what that man talked about, with American military being in the area before the explosion. But it's really hard to get to the bottom of the truth on all of this. Let me know what you guys have found out and what you think. But, what I've got is that Biden soundbite. I'm going to play it again. I played it on Friday. Here it is, February 7th of this year. Biden says what he's going to do.
Let me answer the first question first. If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that exactly? since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control?
We will, I promise you, we'll be able to do that.
Schönen Dank für Ihre Frage.
Thank you very much.
We don't know who else may have done it, but Biden said he would do it. So that makes you think, wow, did America detonate Nord Stream? Did they do what they said they were going to do? Okay, I talked about this in my podcast. Apparently, some other podcasters do. And now Brookings is saying that American podcasters are helping to convey Russian misinformation. Here I have it, brookings.edu. U.S. podcasters spread Kremlin narrative on Nord Stream sabotage. 1 week ago, powerful explosions erupted a pair of underwater natural gas pipelines, Nord Stream 1 and 2, that run between Russia and Germany. The pipelines represent an important source of natural gas in Germany, and against the background of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Nord Stream 1 and 2 provide a key tool for the Kremlin to exert leverage over Europe. Well, exactly who is responsible for the attack, which European officials say was a deliberate act of sabotage, remains unclear. Experts broadly agree that Russia is the key suspect. Brookings is calling out Russia, saying they believe that Russia detonated its own pipeline, and anyone who says otherwise is a spreader of the Kremlin narrative. And then they start to talk about the podcasters here. I have this highlighted too. It says, quote, to track the spread and understand the role of state propaganda in such information, researchers typically examine posts on Twitter, but this only provides a partial view. In this case, as elsewhere, popular political podcasters served as an important understudied means through which Kremlin narratives reach American audiences. Following the explosion, 12 popular political podcasters had devoted 18 episodes to the theory. Less than 1/4 of these episodes refuted the baseless theory, and nearly 40% fully blamed the United States. Why is Brookings saying it's a baseless theory when Biden straight up said that they would do away with the Nord Stream pipeline if Russia invaded Ukraine? Biden said the U.S. would do that. This is ridiculous that American podcasters are being blamed for spreading Russian misinformation when, I mean, I don't know what other podcasters do, but I looked at the evidence, the sound bites of Biden saying it himself. I went back to that original recording and he said what he said. So, and I'm not saying that, that doesn't mean for sure that the U.S. did it, but that's the only nation I've heard of stepping up and saying we're planning to do away with Nord Stream, and then Nord Stream gets hit. Like I said, I hope that my country didn't do that. And I honestly don't know who did it, but we have our own president saying that he's gonna get rid of Nord Stream. So interesting. Brookings taking a hit at American podcasters. These are weird times. And other weird news, the United States is now purchasing hundreds of millions of dollars worth of drugs to be used in radiological and nuclear emergencies. The U.S. Health and Human Services is preparing for a possible nuclear emergency. As reported by The Hill, $290 million spent by U.S. Health and Human Services on anti-radiological and nuclear drugs. I just think this interesting that big pharma benefits no matter what. All these emergencies that we have, big pharma keeps cashing out. So there go our tax dollars or printed money to the possibility of a nuclear emergency. We can pop some pills if Putin decides to drop a bomb on us. How about that? In other news, I wanted to catch you guys up on some news about an arrest related to elections. Here we go. New York Post reporting that a software CEO was arrested for stealing U.S. election worker data, storing it on Chinese servers. So he was the CEO of a company based out of Michigan called Konnech, Konnech, and they track and streamline the staffing and the logistics of a polling place, with election workers. Let me show you their website. So apparently he was not supposed to store this information with the Chinese. Duh. This is their website. Election logistics made easy. Streamline your election management process and save your staff time and money with our industry leading software and products. Now, the Washington Post, let's see, they reported that the DA's office, the DA's office out of LA busted him. The DA's office didn't specify what specific information allegedly was taken, but officials say it only involved poll workers, not machines or accounts, and didn't alter the election results. DA's office out of LA is assuring us that this did not impact the actual election, but the Chinese apparently do have access to a lot of our election worker and polling place info, thanks to this guy. So he's being arrested now. Beyond that, we're going to call it a wrap. We're doing a little bit shorter shows these days. I think people like shorter shows. Be sure to tune in to Truth Bombs tomorrow with special guest. Be sure to check it out. You don't want to miss this one. Let me know your thoughts, comment, like, and share. It helps my algorithm. And I can keep bringing you the truth. We'll see you guys soon.